Hi students, good morning to everyone. I'm Aruna, lecturer in computer science, First Year College for Women, Eluru. In this video, I'm going to explain about exception handling. Before going to exception handling, we must know what is an error and what are the different types of errors that occur during execution. How we handle these errors with these exceptions.
Exception. An exception is a condition that is caused by a runtime error in a program. What is an error? A mistake might lead to an error, causing a program to produce unexpected results. Errors are the wrongs that can make a program going to wrong. An error may produce an incorrect output or may terminate the execution of the program abnormally or even may cause the system to crash. Okay, this is about error. There are three types of errors in a programming: syntactic errors, runtime errors, and logical errors. What are syntactic errors? How we get these errors? What are runtime errors? Okay, syntactic errors. Syntactic error is an error in a syntax of a sequence or characters tokens that is intended to be written in compile time. These are called syntax errors. Then coming to logical errors. What are logical errors? A logical error is a bug in a program that causes it to operate incorrectly but not to terminate abnormally. Then what are runtime errors? Runtime error in a program is an error that occur while the program is running after being successfully completed and it is successfully compiled. Runtime errors are also called bugs. They can be debugged. That's why runtime errors are also called as exceptions that occur during execution. Yes. If you observe here, I have taken an example here in this C equals to A by B line causes a runtime error because here the syntax is correct, but at runtime it is trying to divide a number by 0. If you observe the values A equals to 4 and B equals to 0. Now I am dividing A by B. Then A value is 4, B value is 0. I am trying to divide an integer by 0. Because of this statement, the program may terminate. Even though it is successfully compiled, it may terminate. For letting the program to run successfully, we use exception handling mechanism. What is there in an exception handling mechanism? Exception handling mechanism has try block, catch block, and finally statements. Why we use these try and catch blocks? Finding the problem or else hitting the exception with the help of try block. Informing that an error has occurred, it means throws the exception. Receive the error information. Catch the exception. Take corrective actions, means handling these exceptions. So in our syntax we use try and catch blocks. Statements that causes an exception. exception object creator is placed in try block. What this try do? It throws an exception object. Who will receive this exception object or is called catch statement. The catch block statement that handles the exception. That's why it is called as exception handler. Okay. Here the latest version of JavaScript added exception handling capabilities. This JavaScript implements try, catch, finally constructs as well as throw operator to handle exceptions. The try statements let you test a block of code. If you read the previous program, C equals to A by B. I am dividing an integer by 0. Now I will get an error if I place B as 0 in this particular code. That block of code for errors will test by try statements. After testing the block of the code, then it will throw the exception. These exceptions are received by catch statement. The catch statement let you to handle the error. The throw statements let you to create custom errors. The finally statement lets you execute code after try and catch, regardless of the result. You can catch program generated and runtime exceptions, but can't catch JavaScript syntax errors. A sample code for try and catch finally statements. Here I place a try block, code to run. If I get any error in this code, then it will throw a exception E. That is catched by catch statement to run the code if an exception occurs. Okay. Then finally it always executes regardless of exception occurring. We use finally statements. A try block statement must be followed by either exactly one catch block or one finally block. Try block may also followed by more than one catch statements also. When an exception, it means we are using multiple catch statements in the case if we got multiple errors. A catch statement is used to handle one error for producing error message. Then we can, if we are having more than one error, then we can use multiple catch statements. Okay. For that we can take a try block with a number of catch statements. Finally, block. When an exception occurs in a try block, the exception is placed in E and the catch block is executed. The optional finally block executes unconditionally after try and catch. The throw statement. What is the throw statement will do? Allows you to custom errors. You can create a custom errors. If you observe here in this example, I have taken throw too big, throw 500. First case is string and the second case is number. Technically, you can throw an exception. The exception can be a string, number, boolean or an object. If you use throw together with the try and catch, you can control program flow and generate custom error messages. Let's see the simple example for these try and catch blocks. Here I am using function with my function name. A equals to 100, B equals to 0. This try block contains the code to be executed. If here I am getting any errors in this running code, then it will throw an exception. That exception is caught by catch statement. Here, if b is equal to 0, then it will raise an exception. It throws an exception that is divided by 0 error. If b value is not equals to 0, then it will execute the statement c equals to a by b. If the value b equals to 0, then it will create an exception. It throws an exception. That is exception E. It is catch by catch statement. What it will display? The error message. Okay. Here I am taking input type button and value equals to click me. On click my function. If I click on my function, the code in the previous slide we have seen that the code will be executed on clicking click button. Okay. You can raise an exception in one function using a string or integer, boolean or an object. Exception either in the same function as we did in the above or in another function using a try and catch block. Okay, let's see the example for this exception. Let's run the program. Write the code in Notepad. Here I'm using a function. Function name is my function. Where x equals to prompt this prompt is a form object. We will see this prompt in the next class. Enter value between 5 and 10. Now I am placing try block with the code to run. If x equals to empty, throw an exception, throw is empty. Throw statement creates custom errors, so we can write our own errors. is NaN. It is not a number. If I place a number in a code, then it will throw is not a number. Similarly, if I enter the range of a value that is below 5 or above 10, then it will throw an exception. Throw, if I am placing a value that is greater than 10, then it will throw higher value, or else if I place a value that is less than 5, then throw low. Now these exceptions should be handled by catch statement. For that exception, error I am taking let input error. Here I am using input type equals to button. We have seen already this in form. In first unit we have seen forms. There we saw that input tag. Here I am using input type equals to button. And the function name is my function value click for text. Save this program and execute. Let's see the output for this. If I click on this, click on for test, then it will display a prompt. We have to enter a value that is between 5 and 10. I place 7. Okay. there is no exception. If I place a value less than 5 or a value greater than 10, then it will throw an exception. Take 4. Now what it will display? I have thrown it with low. Input low. If I place a number that is greater than 10, for example 65, now it will say input is high. If I specify a character, then it will say it is not a number. No input, then it is empty. Input is empty. This is about exception handling. Hope you all understand. Thank you.